Hello everyone. The chapter begins with a girl asking Light what kind of ability he would like to have. He responds that dual wielding or speed would be great, and perfect aim wouldn't be bad either. He just wants a combat ability. He then asks Lena what ability she would like, and she says one that would allow her to be with him. Light says that in that case, they'll become adventurers. Lena mentions that they won't know what abilities they'll get until they eat the fruit, and both head to the temple. Light is excited about becoming the greatest adventurer in history. Inside the temple, the nun explains that they can only eat one fruit in their lifetime. Eating more would poison and kill them. Lena eats her fruit and acquires the Holy Sword ability, a rare and special skill. Then, Light eats his fruit and gains the Fruitmaster ability. He becomes depressed because this ability doesn't allow him to be an adventurer. Lena is taken away because her ability is special, while Light stays behind to tend to a fruit plantation. One day, Light goes for a walk and sees that Lena has already become famous and reached S rank quickly. Feeling down, he goes to the forest to train with his sword but collapses from exhaustion. There, he meets Ayla, a young girl left in his care by the village chief. They divide up chores and later have dinner together. During dinner, Ayla asks him how he's doing, and Light responds that he's saving up to buy a better sword. He also warns her not to touch the ability fruits he's cultivating. However, it turns out Ayla had added one of the fruits to the stew they were eating. Light feels sick, collapses, and regrets not warning Ayla about the fruits earlier. Light then realizes the fruit in the stew gave him the sword god ability. The nun becomes aware that someone special has appeared. Ayla also experiences the same situation and gains the ability to see others' abilities. She discovers that Light has an immunity to the fruit's poison, and that his sword god ability grants him significantly higher attack power when wielding a sword. Excited, Light grabs his sword and heads to the forest to test his ability. When he confirms he truly has it, he's overjoyed. Light and Ayla then go to the Adventurers Guild. Ayla notices that among all the adventurers, Light is the only one with 2 abilities. Just then, Light bumps into someone who provokes and attacks him. Light easily blocks the attack, and the troublemakers leave. Light and Ayla take on a quest, and upon arrival, Light faces a slime, cutting it in half. He quickly realizes his ability makes him overwhelmingly strong with a sword, so he resolves to better control his strength. Before they can take the slime back, they hear screams. It turns out the troublemakers encountered a giant ogre and were defeated. Spotting Light, they leave the ogre to him. The ogre attacks, and Light dodges. Ayla warns him to keep evading since he doesn't have any defensive abilities. Light defeats the ogre with a single move called Demonic Slash. They celebrate their victory, and the troublemakers congratulate Light, deciding not to bother him again. Light is happy to be a proper adventurer now, but suddenly, everyone becomes alert. The S-rank adventurers, including Lena, have arrived. Light rushes to greet her, but she coldly tells him he's mistaken her for someone else, ending the chapter. The chapter begins with the introduction of the sacred group from rank S. Their leader, Grouse the Fast God, Eric the Strong Arm, Sarum the Burning Flame, and Lena the Holy Sword. Light rushes toward her to greet her, but she pretends not to recognize him. Light doesn't believe she could have forgotten about him. Ayla suggests that they go eat something. Ayla eats, and Light does too, but Light seems to choke, and someone passes him a glass of water. That person is Lena, who asks him not to raise his voice because Grouse might hear them. Lena asks what they are doing there, and Light tells her that he and Ayla became adventurers and explains everything that has happened. Lena is happy that Light will be able to fulfill his dream, and Light asks her to tell him about Sacred. Ayla also asks her to tell them. Lena says that they pay well, but the atmosphere is horrible, and she has to work with whoever the monk orders. Light asks why, if they are a group of exceptional people. Lena has a memory of when they fought a giant serpent, where Sarum defeated it with his fire magic, but in doing so, he burned down some farms. Lena tells the monk that none of that was right, but the monk says that there is nothing wrong with it, because the only thing people will remember is that they defeated the monstrous serpent. Light asks her what is wrong, and she says nothing. Light tells her that if she's not happy, why doesn't she join his group? But she says no, everything is fine, and she leaves, crying. Light wonders what happened to her. Light receives 10,000 gold coins for defeating the ogre. Ayla asks why he looks so depressed, and he says it's because he didn't like Lena's behavior earlier, and it worries him a lot. Ayla suggests that he ask the leader inside. Light enters and tells Grouse to let Lena leave the guild. Grouse says he's crazy and orders him to be removed, as the room is only for rank S. The former provocateurs tell Light not to mess with him, or they will become enemies with the whole country. As the day passes, we see the sacred group talking, and Lena gathers the courage to say she will leave the group. Before she leaves, Grouse stops her, beats her, and manipulates her, saying that if they continue as they are, they will save many people. The sacred group is about to go on a mission, but Light gets in their way and says he won't move until they give him his friend. Light reminds Lena of the promise they made to be adventurers together, and she says she can't. Light challenges Grouse for Lena, and in exchange, Grouse demands that Light stop being an adventurer forever and never step foot in the Holy City again, starting the fight. Grouse attacks Light at high speed, and Light defends himself. Grouse asks what happened to his courage. At high speed, Grouse kicks and attacks Light, who can barely defend himself, with Grouse cutting Light's sword. Light tells Lena not to worry because he will win, and she supports him. But Ayla tells Light that he no longer has a sword, so Light asks to borrow a brush. Grouse attacks Light with everything he's got at high speed, but Light lands a hit that sends the leader of Sacred Flying, finally defeating him. Lena joins Ayla and Light's group. While they train, Light says that a week has passed since his fight, and that he still has some wounds that are healing. They have breakfast at Lena's place, who lets them stay there as their base of operations inside the Holy City. A messenger arrives asking Lena to meet with the monk, but she rejects it. Later they go on quests to earn money, but they only get some that offer very little. Light realizes that it's the price of having become enemies with the monk. Lena accepts all the quests, and using her abilities along with the others, they help the town with the task. As night falls, Lena says she is happy to leave Sacred and be with them, but also says that these kinds of tasks don't make Light happy. He interrupts her and says that he is happy and had a lot of fun doing them. Light says he has a name for their group, Luxeria, which means incomplete light. The others like it, and Light says they will be adventurers remembered in history. Lena says she will be an adventurer who fights for the people, and Ayla will be the one who eats all the pizza in the world. Under the stars, they make their oath. Later, we see that the monk has a request for the protagonist's group, a rank S quest, thus ending the chapter. The chapter begins with the group walking through a dense fog as part of their S rank mission, eventually arriving at a castle. The group talks to the receptionist and asks about the monster, but she says she doesn't know what's going on, as adventurers have been sent before, but none have returned. She also mentions the castle, which turns out to be the former residence of an old count, whose fate is unknown. Lena remarks that the task seems too dangerous, and looks at Light, who is excited to proceed. The scene shifts as the group falls into a ravine. Light uses his sword to cushion the fall, and they find themselves surrounded by zombies. Light is horrified at the thought of having to kill his former comrades, but Lena steps forward, saving him. They run towards the castle, which is teeming with zombified adventurers. Lena takes charge of defeating them, with Light joining in to help. Ayla is almost attacked, but Lena saves her, finishing off the enemies. The group then reflects that they've already defeated more zombies than the missing adventurers. Suspecting something strange is happening, they venture deeper into the castle, eventually stumbling upon a portrait of the Count. As they press on, they encounter more zombies, and Light notices they are being controlled by threads. Following the threads, they run into a hallway that leads to a large door. Inside, they find a massive room where a girl named Dratena awaits. Light decides to confront her, asking why she wants to kill him. She replies that she is following orders from a certain individual but cannot reveal more because it's a secret. She mentions that she belongs to a group called Black Swan, which Lena says she's never heard of. Dratena quickly attacks, and the group is forced into battle. Lena is targeted by two adventurers who were once her friends. Dratena declares her intent to take down Ayla first, but Light protects her. The girl continues to focus her attacks on Ayla, but Light gives it his all to defend her. Meanwhile, Lena realizes she has no choice but to put her old comrades to rest. She cuts the threads controlling them and defeats them so they can finally find peace. Light, exhausted from defending Ayla, decides to carry her on his back and prepares to unleash his special attacks, bringing the chapter to an end. The chapter begins with Light ready to fight her, with Ayla on his back. Then we see Lena finishing off the undead, and she says that she has to meet with Light and Ayla. Then we see Ayla evaluating the undead, and Light jumps and holds on so that Ayla can evaluate better, and finds the summoner turns out to be the Count. And on top of that is the Grim Reaper that turns the living into undead. Just by touching them with his scythe, Ayla warns him, and Light dodges his attack. Dratena says that the Count is the one who controls the Grim Reaper. Light asks why someone like the Count would summon something like that, and Dratena asks him if he knows the taboo skills that condemn whoever has one. The Count's ability was one, which earned him the discontent of the people, because he summoned increasingly terrifying beasts, which caused them to falsely accuse the Count of treason. The Count decided to summon the Grim Reaper because some intruders who were the companions of the protagonists, which caused the Grim Reaper to finish them all off. Dratena attacks him, but Light is worried if the world will hate him for having the Fruitmaster ability, but Light decides not to care, and faces Dratena. Light uses an ability that Dratena predicted, but she changes it. Surprising her, and Lena quickly appears to face her, and ends up with a blow with the Grim Reaper, and Light goes towards the Count and finishes him off with a slash. But Dratena uses the Count to activate a powerful spell, summoning a dragon that attacks Dratena that surprises everyone. Light attacks the anti-sword dragon with his strongest ability, but his sword breaks and Ayla has an idea and gives a fruit to Light, but someone behind Dratena appears and takes it away. The dragon attacks and the kids dodge. Light eats the fruit and Lena protects them from the dragon. Ayla evaluates Light and sees that he has the insect resistance ability, which leaves them stunned. Light eats many fruits, unlocking the Master of the Cats and durability of weapons, preventing them from breaking often. Lena's sword breaks, and Light eats another one, unlocking the Dream Fairy ability that puts whoever hides his dust to sleep, and Light sets out to get closer to the dragon to have a greater effect. The dust and climbs to the dragon's face, and using the fairy manages to put it to sleep, and the boys flee the castle because it collapsed, and with the mission accomplished, they go to the guild to acquire the reward, and they arrive at the city, and Light falls very tired to the ground, thus ending the chapter.